Today I fucked up by reminiscing with my husband about when we were young. Posted from mobile. It's a tale as old as texting. We read it all the time and always think, how can you be that dumb? Well, today it was me. I've committed the crime of oblivious stupidity. Tonight, my husband and I were watching Naked Attraction, a dating game show based on Naked Attraction. We started talking, comparing our young selves to contestants of the show. A while later I was sitting with the kids sleeping on my lap while he was in the restroom. So I decided to tease him. I still was thinking about my handsome young hubby and a rather flattering picture of him that I love. It was right after sex. He was standing in front of the bedroom mirror, looking at himself talking about muscle gain from work. I snuck a picture. His package looks like it's taking headshots for a modeling gig. While this is a full body shot, his dick is absolutely prominent in the picture, the first thing that your eye is drawn to. Now, with this in mind, I send him the flattering picture, trying to flirt with the simple caption, "Look at young husband's name here." Shortly thereafter I get the response, "I'm speechless." What a weird reaction, right? Then I see it's from K&D. They share a phone. Oh. I had sent them pictures of the grandkids, and a video the boy dancing. Still not registering. I thought, strange way to say it's funny. Click. And the horror set in. This spicy photo had been sent to his parents. I just sent that photo to my in-laws. I of course immediately apologized, trying to explain myself while running to my husband and collapsing in pure embarrassment on the bathroom floor. Practically bowing in apology at my husband's feet, I then blurred out the horrible mistake to him, showing him the picture sent. He really couldn't do anything but laugh at my beet red face while both our kids are crying cause I woke them when I bolted upright. To my dismay, he then sent from his phone, "Might as well binge some horror movies this Halloween. You're not seeing anything scarier than that this season." So that's where we stand. I got a wishy-washy "it's all good" from the in-laws, and my husband's retort, while funny, may diffuse the situation or rub salt in the wound. Time will tell. Now I write this to you all as another tale of warning. Double check who the recipient is when texting spicy photos. Kids are also still upset with me. TL. Doctor tried to flirt and reminisce with my husband. Instead caused my in-laws to see their son's Grand Johnson. Instead of just grandchildren. Edit spelling edit 2. Short version: it took literally 5 seconds to send, and I don't talk to anyone but my husband. With minuscule exception. Long explanation below. I was just using the regular old phone texting app. It opens the last thread you texted when you tap the icon. It ended up just being a perfect storm. And me nor paying attention. So yes, their thread was open. But the only thing on thread I could see was the potential video of the boy dancing with the remote. The opening image is black cause first pan up to the boy in the video. And at that, when I text something cute of the kids like that, I usually send it to my husband first. Then sometimes I'll think, oh yeah, his parents would like to see this too. Then, proceed to send it to them. Which is exactly what I had done. They had not responded to the video yet, and my husband hadn't either, cause I sent it while he was at work. So the threads look pretty much the same unless I had looked up at previous texts or at the very top to check the name like a smart person. Secondly, trying to find a picture through the tiny photo view on texting sucks. So I have a habit of just going to my camera reel, finding the picture that I want and screenshotting it, so it's now the most recent picture on my phone. Until the response from them, I had totally forgotten I'd even texted them anything today. I hardly ever talk to anyone through text but my husband. His parents are literally the only exception, and I usually will check in with them only once every 1-2 weeks. Usually doing exactly that, sending a cute pic of the kids to my husband, then a copy to his parents. So I just clicked the app, click type, attaché sent, and closed it, continuing to watch YouTube the whole time. It legit took me 5 secs to send. Secondly, I've gotten a lot of "it's creepy to sneak pictures without that person's consent," and yes, you shouldn't do that if you don't have that person's consent. On the other hand, taking candid shots of each other naked was already a common established flirting thing in our relationship. We knew each other's boundaries and neither of us were uncomfortable in any sense with this type of thing. Obviously we wouldn't like it purposefully put out there, it's for us. But if it did get leaked on the internet, neither of us would care that much. Especially him. As you can tell from his response. Sorry for the long explanations. IDK if I should put this at bottom of update as well. TL. Doctor tried to flirt and reminisce with my husband. Instead caused my in-laws to see their son's Grand Johnson. Instead of just grandchildren. Just be happy you didn't send it to your kids. Oh, and the caption just makes it sound like you meant to send it to them too. Rolling on the floor laughing. I got secondhand embarrassment from this story. If my darling daughter-in-law sent me such a picture, I'd laugh my ass off. After I finished with the eyewash station tears of joy, I'd definitely stir her up about it, for a while. Grand Johnson broke me. Today I fucked up by leading my friend on and sending him a dirty pic. Sorry this is so long. This happened a few years ago, but I was just thinking about this after reading someone else's post on another subreddit. And I wish I wasn't reminded of this because I'm kinda ashamed and pray to God the person that I sent the photo to didn't tell anyone or screenshot it. Also, I'm aware that I'm absolutely horrible with boundaries. Here's some backstory. I, 21F, went to high school with an old friend, 22M. We'll call him Jim. My best friend in high school, also 22M. We'll call him Joe, had a huge crush on me and would often seek Jim for advice. In high school, especially during my senior year, I wasn't interested in dating, and quite honestly, Joe wasn't my type. Jim would get very upset with me for friend-zoning Joe, and I actually remember us getting in an argument over it during our history class. Jim actually kinda treated me like crap in high school. Anyways, Joe eventually became okay with just being friends and we were there for each other when Jim went away for boot camp. Anyways, flash forward to me and Joe's first year of college. Joe and I were at the same school, while Jim was enlisted. After months of Jim being gone, we weren't really close anymore. Jim added me on Snapchat out of the blue. I later found out from Joe that Jim asked for my snap. I thought it was kinda random but didn't think much of it. Jim and I started talking more. I noticed him flirting with me. He said, I thought since you're not into Joe, maybe I could give it a shot. And I'll be honest, I wasn't really into him. Like not at all. Jim wasn't my type, just like Joe wasn't. But for some reason, I didn't have the heart to just turn him down completely like I did with Joe. I figured I'd give him a shot to see if I would grow to like him. He said he just wanted to settle down with a nice Christian girl, like me, and said that when he came home on leave he wanted to go on a date. So I said, sure. I started noticing that Jim would start texting me at night more, which made me raise my eyebrows a little bit, but I just ignored it. He would occasionally send suggestive photos, like pics of his boner in his sweatpants. I wouldn't really say anything about it, even though I was really uncomfortable. I just would continue the conversation without acknowledging it. When Jim and I would talk about this date we were supposed to go on, he said he wanted to take me to the movies and then go for a car ride to talk. He later would tell me he wanted to motorboat my boobs on this said date, to which I said, sure, even though I knew I didn't want to do that with him. And here is where I want to punch myself in the face. I didn't even like him. In fact, most of the time I was uncomfortable with the thought of going out with him. I was straight up just leading this guy on and I couldn't even tell you why. Like I was good at telling Joe no, but for some reason I led Jim on? On top of that, I started thinking, no Jim, you're not really looking for a nice Christian girl to settle down with. Anyways, this talking kept going on and Jim became more bold during the night. And here is where I effed up even more. In the middle of one night, I happened to just be in the mood and Jim was snapping me. He also happened to be in the mood, as he was pretty much every night. Well, that night he asked me for a pic, and I consented with a titty pic. After Jim went to bed, I felt guilt and embarrassment hit me like a ton of bricks. Not because I sent a nude, but because I sent it to someone I knew I wasn't romantically interested in. And in my embarrassment, I blocked Jim on Snap smiling face with tear. Jim messaged me on Facebook asking why I did that and I just said I didn't want to talk anymore. The only other person who knows about this is Joe. Looking back on it, I'm pretty sure Jim was using me anyway and didn't actually like me. But I still effed up by leading him on, caving in a moment of vulnerability, and cutting him off in a bad way. Jim and I haven't spoken in 2 years. The last time we did talk, he wanted to get with me again, but I started dating my now husband. Too long did not read. I led my best friend's friend on when I knew he made me uncomfortable, and in a momentary lapse of reason, sent him a spicy photo. Then blocked him out of guilt. Your behavior is like sending a dick pic. I don't understand either. LMAO, this is like a TIFU plus post. I'm not buying the not romantically interested BS. Because no sane person would do this, they 100% know the repercussions. You don't send someone nudes you're not interested in, go write this 100 times on the chalkboard. That made my head hurt. I usually don't read Today I Fucked Up Reddit posts, but that was an interesting yet amusing red tears of joy. Girl absolutely butchered him. Just suck his dick, it'll be cool. Today I fucked up by drinking alone with my best friend. I, 36 male, was out for drinks with friends, one of which, 34F, is my closest friend. I'm married, have kids, have always been faithful. We have a rule that when I am hanging out with my female friends that it's never one-on-one. This was my idea, as I never want to be perceived by others as on a date with another woman. Well, this last time, our third party had to leave early unexpectedly right after our last round came. My closest friend and I were left by ourselves for 20 minutes to finish our drinks alone. I had been hoping for this time to have a conversation about the last time we had hung out. There was a moment when we were alone at the table while the third was in the restroom and almost kissed. I pulled away before anything happened and apologized the next day when we were sober. The conversation went well, but she admitted having feelings for me. Then, she pulled out her phone to show me a pic and asked me if she should go back to blonde. It was a nude of her sucking dick. I was caught off guard obviously, and she is undoubtedly beautiful. My jaw dropped, I drooled, she got the reaction she wanted. The conversation did not go as it should have. I should have shot her down there, paid the tab and left. Instead, for the entire weekend we entertained the idea by text. Ultimately concluding it's wrong and it would wreck our friendship and relationships. We've agreed we can never be alone together again. And we have shut down all one-to-one communication. We're trying to act like nothing has happened. But now, I can't get that image of her out of my head. And I'm lusting after her regularly. I can't stop thinking about her. I love my wife and choose her. 100% every time. I have not physically done anything, but even considering anything is driving me crazy with guilt. I keep trying to forget about my friend and focus on my marriage, but my mind keeps going here and then I feel guilty again. I'm scared I'm falling for my friend. Edit. So I wrote this as a hurry as I'm at work and need to add clarity and correct a few things that unintentionally mislead the masses. 1. It technically was a dildo, not another man's dick. So she didn't share a confidential photo of another man. 2. When I say we entertained the idea by text, I asked her to send a nude when we left. She said she'd send it when she got home. She asked if I was ready before sending, but I didn't respond until the next day. She didn't respond all weekend. I had mixed feelings of wanting her to send it and move things forward, but also not wanting to betray my wife. Monday morning I forced her to stop ghosting me and we had a conversation that led to our current situation. She doesn't deserve as much hate as she's getting. I deserve more. I am a shitbag, but I want to do the right thing. I don't deny anything y'all are saying about me. I am seriously considering the suggestions here. Too long did not read. My best friend and I explored the idea cheating together but realized it's wrong. Now I feel guilty and yet can't stop thinking about my best friend romantically. There are lines you can't uncross and bells you can't unring. You had things set up to prevent exactly what happened, but now things will never be the same. You say you stopped because you didn't want to wreck your friendship, among other things, but I think, unfortunately, you did just that. You are infinitely more likely to cheat now. Make your choice now. If you love your wife like you say, drop the friend. The friend is waiting to catch you in a weak moment. Not a friend move. Sometimes the best way to see past lust is to jerk off. She doesn't want you, she wants to know she can have you. Two different things, and neither are worth ruining a marriage over. Say good luck with life to her and walk away. You don't choose your wife 100% of the time, otherwise you wouldn't even be in this situation thinking about another woman regularly. But it may have been a way to expose some underlying unhappiness and you can build from that. There is so much wrong in this post. You were alone with a woman for 20 minutes and went feral. You need therapy. Today I fucked up by showing my coworker my Tinder profile and it might have messed with my job. Obligatory, this didn't happen today. 2 days ago I was bullshitting with my coworkers in the office and one of them asked to see my Tinder profile. He was looking at my bio and all my pictures, then he exited out and saw my matches. Well, he saw I was matched with a guy. For context, I am a bi male, but it's not something I ever bring up just because I don't think it's anyone's business who I fuck. I'm not ashamed of my sexuality, but I try to keep that part of my life separate from work, considering I work for a Christian value organization. Well, he then proceeded to yell out, "Ayo op, why are you matched with a guy?" I tried to say nah, you just misread that, and tried to play it down. He wasn't buying it. I just left the conversation and went home for the day afterwards. I kinda just assumed he would have forgotten about it or kept it to himself. Well, yesterday in front of some of my bosses he just straight up acts, are you a bisexual male? And it kinda caught me off guard. He was trying to get a laugh out of everyone by telling them my personal business. IDK what to do because I'm mad and just sad someone would think it's okay to spout my personal business. People are gonna look at me different and it will affect my job. Thanks Tinder. Too long did not read. My coworker saw my Tinder and found out I'm bisexual. Now he's telling my coworkers of a Christian organization. Edit. For some more context, I have been more interested in women recently and haven't been nearly as into guys, so I kinda forgot I had a dude in my matches. I forget I'm bi sometimes. Another thing, my company isn't necessarily a Christian organization but their values are. There are gay people within the company. I just don't need any reason for people to look at me or look at me differently. If it goes much further you'll be able to sue them for discrimination, so I wouldn't worry too much. Go to hour immediately about your boss and him harassing you. Record all conversations with the boss, the guy, and hour. Tell him yes, imagine me your mom and dad going at it. Your coworker is the kind of person you take out back to the alley and handle them for being such a douchebag. Step 1. Don't work for a Christian organization.